Come step into my feet real quick.
Step into your feet?
Mm-hmm. What feels different?
I'm further away.
Dude, you were so close to the golf ball.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so here's what I'm seeing. It's interesting. You said right away that you felt before we started, I said, what would be causing those right misses when they do happen?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you felt that it was more of this, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, a lot of times when you're too close, there's just not enough room, not enough space to get the hands by you, so the body has to straighten up to give yourself some space.
Yeah.
And that's where you could be feeling a little bit of that right there.
Okay.
And that's where that little bit of a shove comes from. There's not the freedom to be able to stay in your spine angle and really cover it the way you need to. And what do you feel like? Arm?
Whoa.
Yeah. Dude, stay right
This
there.
is like my driver, I think.
Here, get behind this guy so you can see. This is Kyle feeling like he's a mile away from the golf ball. Go ahead, bud.
Hit?
Yep. Right down the line, though. This is you feeling like you're a mile from the ball. Here's why you probably feel like you're so far even when you're the right distance. Notice how your ankle and hip don't align?
Yeah.
Your hip's sitting back behind your ankle, so that weight's back in the heels a little bit more than it needs to be. So what I mean by that is come back behind me here. You know, if we're setting up once again, splitting the rod in half like this, we want that hip to be right on top of that ankle. When you tilt, I want to feel like no matter what, through both of those, through this entire process, I don't want to go this way. I don't want to do it right and then flex that way. I want to tilt over my belt line, flex down, and notice how I'm keeping the hip right over the ankle when doing so.
Yeah.
So that's going to keep that weight 70-30.
So what does mine look like?
Yours looks like this, right, with the hip sitting back, and then you have to reach more.
Yeah.
So what was happening before was this. You were sitting back and then kind of jammed up close. Mm-hmm. Now, arms hanging relative to the shoulders was the same as they normally would be, but you're just too far back.
Okay.
So what happens was, now that we got the ball the right distance, get out over it. And that's going to put you in a position to stay over the golf ball more, as opposed to sitting back.
Yeah.
You're presetting the problem. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So you're
sense.
presetting yourself to come out of it, and when you sit back that far, you're forcing yourself to tilt out more over the golf ball, just to create space to swing underneath you. So I would just say, let's step away from the ball a little bit here. I'll have you step right into my feet one more time here. Okay.
Right.
Yep. Good. It feels like a mile, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So then stay over the balls of your feet. And so watch, Kev, come back here. And I'm going to hold this right here. So when Kyle tilts, he's not going to push his hip joint back. He needs to stay over it.
Oh my gosh.
There we go. You can step in a half an inch if you want. So what's fun now is you're going to be, you have to adjust. Yeah. And you're going to be forced to do what? Stay out over it in order to hit it. So a lot of times, we just did our live session last night for our master class, which was really cool. We go live for an hour and people ask questions and we just answer them. And a lot of people have questions about early extension. Always remember, when you come out of a golf shot, there's most likely something done in the setup. And if it's not in the setup, it's disconnection in the backswing and the body either standing up, stalling out, or backing up to allow the hands to catch up in the downswing. So whenever you feel something in the downswing, a better player, especially as yourself, you check the setup first. And what are the reasons why? Okay, well, reasons why would be, well, if we're sitting back a little bit too close, we don't have any space, we're sitting back, we're presetting ourselves to come out of it. Okay, the next thing, you talked about why those divots were kind of shallow and not really getting in the ground. Sit back.
Yeah.
The more you get over it, the more now you're on top of it, and you're in positions to create the fixed points. The metal pole that runs up the leg, the metal pole that is the spine, and the ability to stay in that spine angle, right? So you're creating those angles that are going to be sharper and easier for you to stay in throughout your swing. So
to check myself,
yes,
I stand up straight, hinge over, and then bend my knees.
Dude, you're so good at, yes, exactly. And here's what I want you to do. You're going to feel a certain pressure in the balls of your feet and a certain visual that you look down at that you're going to memorize. Okay? Now, when you check yourself on camera, your checkpoints are hip should run right in line with the ankle, the hip joint. The shoulders fall a certain amount of a distance past our toes. For me, it's about 4 inches. Okay? For our golfers, it's anywhere between 3 to 4 inches. We see that. And the other checkpoint as well is the armpit would be falling just behind the toes, kind of at the balls of the feet. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That's where we like our players. So, depending on the size of their shoulders, of course, the reason we do shoulder line and not just the armpit line is it's easy for our players just to drop that club like this and find exactly where they're tilted, right?
Okay.
If I was sitting back, not tilted over. But number 1 starts here. It's for every part of the game, putting, chipping, the whole thing right here. Number 2, the tilt, getting that certain amount of distance past our toes. And then the hands just hang freely underneath, right? With the irons, with the woods, they're going to hang more underneath the nose and mouth.
All right.
Okay, and then the club speaks to you as to how far it's going to be from you based upon the length of that golf club in your hand. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But that's how your body's setting up. So when you're taking that video back there, just draw the line, like to get a little business card. Draw the line down from hip joint to ankle. Look at the hip joint.
Yeah.
Look at the hip joint and the ankle. Look how far back that is. Your hip joint's back there, right? So if you could see this from the other side right here, watch this. That hip joint's right there. Look how far behind it's on your heel line. So it needs to be right there. Don't even need to have a complex system on your phone to be able to check that,
You're right.
That's why I was showing you that. Now, a lot of people, as I mentioned, have questions on early extension, and it's a great lesson in itself right there, is you need to check off the things that would be the actual cause to the problem before you try to fix your downswing. So we get a lot, wow, that already was a lot higher.
Yeah, it was.
A lot of people will try to work simply on their downswing, or they look for the downswing drill, which we do have those. We have the chirp against the butt, ball below the feet lie, a couple other ones as well to be able to keep the chest down and the butt back and be able to maintain your spine angle as you rotate. But until we have a good setup that promotes that, until we have a connected backswing, I'm really not willing to talk to anybody about what they need to do better in the downswing, because it really should, those things put you in a position to be able to do so. And let me tell you this, when you're out of position, you're actually required to do some of the things incorrectly to athletically respond to being out of position in the first place, to get the club to go down the line and get the shot to be straight. So sometimes, you're fixing something that's not even going to make you better at that point. So I'm real big on good setup that promotes it, create fixed points to be able to play golf underneath you and not around you. That's one. And then connecting the backswing, which we'll take a look at the rest of Kyle's swing here. But with these great players, Kyle played at Cal Berkeley. His brother's going to hop in here in a little bit. His younger brother plays at Pepperdine. But the Mass Pratt brothers are great golfers. So a lot of times guys like this, it's in their setup. It's very rarely just golf swing. Dude, how much better is the ball flight?
Yeah.
Way better,
It's
right?
good.
At Porzak Golf, we take a lot of pride in having developed some of the best and most consistent golf swings on the planet. We do this through simplicity. Our Full Swing Masterclass will take you on a step-by-step, easy-to-understand process on how to get your golf swing better than ever. Join the many before you who've utilized our Full Swing Masterclass to take their games to the next level and beyond.